connecting with you right. I'm connecting with you right now, so you may have to accept. So I will keep this also. Copying this to my sticky note here because I'm going to turn to this before the end of the year. I need to get my hands on some projects on Power Platform.
Okay. So
Yeah,
if you have
that's cool.
anything, okay, I can help you out.
Okay, cool.
On
So I just sent you a connection. I sent you a connection request, so you may have to accept when you have time. Okay.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Mm, that's cool.
Welcome, everyone. Richard, my friend from over in the Detroit IT user group, asked us if our meeting is over. Richard, our meeting has just begun. We were late to set up. I needed to connect Frank's LinkedIn and my Twitter account. I think I may have connected my Twitter account twice, so we'll find out if one or both work to connect us. But welcome to the Azure and AI show. My name is Dan Ray, and we will be joined shortly with the founder of Journey to the Cloud, Matthew Browne, all the way from Limerick, Ireland. Matthew and Frank Falvey, myself, Solomon Jeremiah, several others reached out to people that we knew in our network. And Seena, I know we just talked about this before we went live. You said it was Matthew that reached out to you originally.
Yes, exactly.
And I know that was one of our challenges early on was one, to find guests, and then two, to find female guests. So I really appreciate you being here and
Thank you.
joining us. And I think you said that you originally came on the Azure and AI show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so almost 2 years ago at this point, Frank Falvey.
Yeah, I was continually contributing, yeah, in Azure AI show, but yeah, there were some issues.
Yes. The Azure and AI show was our weekly idea
Yes,
of having a cadence that people could,
yes.
if you had
It was a very nice show actually. Okay, we can put our contributions and we can get some knowledge from others as well. So it was yeah, it's a very nice show.
yeah, we've been happy with it. And now that we have Journey to the Cloud monthly, we started that in 2023. We used to just figure out when people were available, figure out kind of a loose agenda, and go live whenever enough people were available and could schedule this. Now we have this on the first Thursday of every month. We have moved a couple times based on presenters' availability. So I did talk to Ami Diamond about going live potentially a little earlier on a day because he's in Israel. And I know it's, the later we go, the later it is his time. I'm sure he may relate to that as well. And Joseph. It's a little later your time than mine.
Yeah, sure.
But Matthew said that he would be about 10 minutes late. We're coming up on that 10-minute time frame. Seena, would you like to present first after Matthew joins us, or let me know whether you'd like?
Yeah, in whatever way, yeah, it will fine for me in whatever ways it can. Yeah.
Okay.
So then here we are means particularly we are focusing a particular subject or like in general we are talking about.
Great question. So Matthew should join us shortly, but Matthew's original goal with Journey to the Cloud was purposefully not to put Microsoft in the title. So that afforded us the ability to talk about things that weren't even Microsoft. So Power Platform, BI, business intelligence in general, cloud technologies, whether it's Microsoft or third party, or cybersecurity, not only Microsoft. So Matthew's original goal with this was not to put a Microsoft product or even the word Microsoft in the title. The Microsoft Speakers Hub came out of a Microsoft Toastmasters club that I hosted in Chicago. And so we already had a web page. And I'm going to bring Matthew to the stage here.
Yeah, he joined.
Matthew, welcome.
Hey, Dan. How are we
Hi,
keeping?
Matthew. Welcome.
Hi, Seena. Hi,
Hi,
Joseph.
Matthew.
I'm sorry, guys. It's been one of those days. Lovely to see everyone.
You too.
Yeah. Are you all set for Ignite, Dan?
I am. So
Same
I
here.
already have my room booked, and I've told Frank if he makes it over, regardless of in what capacity, we'll have a place for him to stay. Um,
Awesome.
if you make it over, I've got a
I
place.
yeah, I will be
Cool.
making it over. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's 4 bedrooms that we have
Perfect.
reserved. So I'm talking to Teresa Cyrus about whether she can make it, and then I figured we've got the 4 bedrooms, and I want to say they said we could have up to 8 guests. So unless there's enough room outside of those bedrooms, we may limit it to four attendees. But I already had that booked just because I knew there were going to be plenty of people in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. So nice to meet everyone. Seena, how have you been?
Yeah, I'm good, Matthew.
That's good. That's good. Everyone's. Are we all excited about all the new MVPs that joined us this month already?
It's been a big list.
Yeah.
In LinkedIn and Twitter, I have seen, I don't know, probably 10 to 15 posts already, and I'm sure I'm missing some.
Yeah. Yeah. I see this. Our speakers club is getting a lot of followings lately. I posted some reviews up there for people, so hopefully that helps people in their learning journeys. Um, when is this the what episode number is this, Dan?
We stopped keeping track of episode numbers, but we did monthly starting in 2023. So I was doing the math with Frank. I think we're up to like 20 months of monthly episodes. We may have not had one in December, like the year that you were over here for
Yeah.
January or February. So we might be around 20. But then before that, we made it to at least 9, I think. So whether we're in the high 20s, like 28, 29, we're coming up to like 30, I think. And Arindam did that. He did that post for us.
I saw. Yeah.
Which
that was insane.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Joseph, are you going to the summit this year?
You asking if I'm going to be around for the Ignite show?
Are you going to go for Ignite or the MVP conference?
So I'm looking at the MVP conference for March next year, right?
Yeah.
Because I will have the umbrella to prepare for that event. So I may just need to get the relevant documents that I will be needing for that trip, so I can prepare on time to make sure I can attend physically.
Yeah.
Because it will actually be the opportunity for me to visit the US the first time. Yeah, and I would truly want to be there.
Yeah. And Dan, have you somewhere booked for the conference already?
I did book a Airbnb for the MVP summit as well in Kirkland. I don't remember how many rooms there are in it. I'll have to get you the details, but I already booked in Kirkland.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Ignite yet, but I definitely know for the MVP conference I'm going to be there.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, make just whatever you're doing, have me in your plans first.
Yeah.
Because I'm not missing it this year.
So Dan, is it that there is already like an invitation already? You know, the part of the world I am will require me to get a visa to travel down, right? So is there a form of an?
We already have the dates for the MVP summit, so I can send those.
I'm not sure the registration is on yet, right?
The registration isn't on.
No.
But if you know the dates, so if you can start the paperwork, ahead of time, that might be
a good idea.
Yeah. And I'm sure Microsoft, like your CPM, should be able to provide you like if you need some context of you're invited to this event or something else. I'm sure there's somebody at Microsoft we could get to.
Okay, I'll follow up with you, Dan, on that so I can know what to do. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, and they give you a letter as well if you need it. That can be downloaded usually around that time frame. So that helps. Sina, are you an MVP yet?
No, no, actually, what happened with me, like last year I was continually blogging, but in between my health has some issues.
Oh, I'm so
I got a
sorry.
block and got a surgery as well. And
Okay.
after that, when I back to work and I had some, like, some projects, and which was very busy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
very busy.
Okay. All right.
And I didn't get the time to connect, and I didn't get the time to contribute to Azure AI show also after that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now,
Um,
yeah, so now the projects are getting over, and now I'm making some time for this particularly.
Okay.
And
Really.
yeah, aim is
Really.
to take by next year. Yeah,
Hopefully. Hopefully.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, yes.
Um. Okay. All right. Look, I said I'd check in. When is the next show, Dan?
So the journey to the cloud is monthly, the first Thursday.
Yeah.
This is a little earlier than we normally go
Mm,
because I knew we had a lot of people that expressed interest in joining us.
okay.
Um, so typically the first Thursday every month. I've put out the question if there's any guests that can't make the first Thursday or this time doesn't work for their time zone that we could
Mm,
move it around. The Azure and AI show is now on Saturdays.
yeah.
Frank moved that an hour earlier, so it's actually in 45 minutes Saturday. It's a little later than this time,
Okay.
um, but that's every Saturday. And then Frank, I think, will take that back over the following Saturday. I hosted this week, and I'm hosting this Saturday as well.
Okay. All right. Send me a link to that so I'll see if I can get on properly for the Saturday because I haven't been on that in a while.
Cool.
Obviously, we've actually just I've so the journey to the cloud website was down for so long. I had to work with Microsoft actually to get it sorted, API issues and whatnot. But it's actually back up fully and has been stable for the last 2 or 3 months now again. But I'm hoping to kind of put some more content up there if anyone wants to start adding to it, or if anyone wants to feels like they want to be a web admin and you know design out pages on it. If they want to put stuff up, they can. But hopefully, I've already started feeding in our Microsoft Speakers Club
Sweet.
uh, page from LinkedIn and my own LinkedIn to get content pushed up there. So it's come a long way since we started. Um, yeah, this is really this has excelled, Dan. To be fair to you, you've kept it going while I've been in between jobs, projects,
Yeah,
personal
Yeah,
stuff. So
sometimes I
yeah, no,
wonder, sometimes
Aaron,
I wonder how Dan is able
customer
to meet up with
handling.
all of
There is
this.
one more very important part is customer handling. Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've told the story, Matthew, about
yeah,
you and Frank inviting me to your homes in Ireland when I made it over there, and we had known each other maybe a few months at that point,
yeah.
and it was super fun to get an opportunity to meet you both in person and have meals with you, and
See the country.
you laugh at me while I was trying to get into a manual
And then
car that I didn't fit in.
that
I
was the
wanted to
funny. That
drive
was
a
the
manual
funniest.
car, and they discouraged me from trying to get into the car that I didn't
Yeah,
fit in.
yeah, yeah. It was like if you'd ever seen a clown car. That's what he was trying to do. Get into it, knock him out of it. Um, but Chicago was way nicer. I'm always forever thankful that I got to go over with Dan, obviously. So the brief story behind it is Dan and I met online. We spoke about Microsoft technology. We both had a passion for it. Obviously, Dan was an MVP. I wasn't at the time, and we just kind of took off from there. We set up the web. I set up the website, set up the LinkedIn page. We did shows just for anyone watching. We did shows. This started at least 4 years ago, so this has been running for a good while now. So yeah, no. to anyone out there that's interested in joining us and kind of speaking. Usually we do topics on this show. Obviously, Dan, you're just free flowing it tonight, which works for me because I have nothing prepared. But yeah, no. So yeah, look, good to meet everyone, and obviously thanks to everyone for joining. Dan, I'm going to sign off.
Sure.
I have to deal with something.
Nope.
So what I'll do is I'll speak to anyone that's on the Zoran AI show at the weekend. I'll speak to you then. If not, keep tabs on our LinkedIn and connect with me and Dan and Seena and the rest of the team. I'll let you continue. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Seena, I know you had a presentation. Was this webpage something you wanted me to share?
Yeah, actually, this is about our platform only, and there is a certification which is about functional consultant, Power Platform functional consultant.
Cool. And that's on
Yeah.
that link.
Yeah,
Or
I'm just talking about that.
yeah, you're welcome to share your screen or Stephen, welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey there.
You're welcome when you're actually on the road.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you
just
for
playing from
joining.
now from work. Yeah.
Beautiful. Mhm.
I can see if I can share that with our audience from another tab here. See if that works. There we go, Seena.
Yes.
So this is a
Yeah, this is my latest blog. Okay, I have started a new blog series which is about from the basic it is starting, which is about the Power Platform tools and services. So I have started from the scratch. It is like I have arranged it like four major products in the Power Platform, like Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Pages. And how we are going to build. Okay, so firstly, I have started with Power Apps, and Power Apps we can build with the four different categories. So that is the first one, like Canvas app, then model. So these are the different types of apps. Okay, we can build with Power Apps. Okay, so the first is Canvas app, then model driven apps, portal apps, then embedded Canvas app, custom pages, etc. So these are different categories of the Power Apps we can build. Then there is like, okay, how we can build like the Canvas app. So here are four categories we can use to build the category Power Apps. Like, okay, so one is start with the Copilot. Let me share my screen.
sure.
Okay.
I think let's see if your screen I can stop sharing mine. And then
Okay.
when
So
you're
here
up, I'll share it.
it is present, right? I can click on present.
Yeah, present and then share screen, and then you should be able to
Share
share
my
the screen or
screen.
window.
Yeah. Is my screen visible? Please let me know once it up.
Not yet.
Not just yet.
No.
I don't see it just yet. It should show up for me once it's shared on your end.
Okay. I'm not getting the share button.
Huh. You have the present
I'm gonna
button.
put that on our screen as well.
Sina, when you click on present, you will see share screen, and then you see
Okay,
video
okay,
file, and then
okay. Now
yeah,
it's fine. Yeah.
okay, all right,
Is it visible now?
Yep. Let me bring it to the. There you go.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming on.
perfect.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. When you're yeah, when you are going to access a Power Platform environment, you can get a trial free account as well for 1 month, and later you have to subscribe the account, and then after login into your credentials with your credentials to Power Apps. So this is the environment you will get, and here you can see on the left side there are so much menus, and here you can see. So this is because I have selected app. Otherwise, if it's home, so it will show you like the page would be display like this way, and get on the apps. So if you're going for creating any canvas app, you can come over here and select the apps. So from here, plus new app option you can see, or otherwise, okay, four tiles you can see here. Okay, so these four tiles, by clicking on these four tiles also you can select, okay, in which way you have to create an app. And from here also these four options you can see the same thing only. Now, so start with Copilot. If I am clicking on start with Copilot, so here it will ask, okay, what type of application you are going to create. So here, if I'm going to type like a leave management system for my HR, if I'm going to create, so here just to type the name and giving it to the Copilot, so it will create a table automatically, so you don't need to do anything. So here you can enhance. If you doesn't want some columns, you can edit this. Okay, so here the table properties will comes and you can edit, and here how many columns automatically, and some dummy data it will provide out of this. Okay, so as a backend, this is a dataverse. So for this actually you need a license for dataverse as well. Just click on create app. So create in my environment, click on that. So it will take some time to create it. This is the Power App Studio where we can add more screens and edit the properties of each of the controls which we are adding into the screens and all.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Stephen.
Okay, yeah. My question is, with the free trial account, does it come with the co-pilot, sir?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Sina, does it mean if you don't have Copilot license, you will still have the Copilot showing up for you in Power App?
Yes, yes, yes. It is there.
Oh, wow, that's good.
I don't have the Copilot license. Okay, I have only this Power Apps license, Power
So,
Platform.
so if you open this Power App, Power Platform on what browser are you using at the moment? The browser you had
Yes.
opened. Irrespective of the browser you are using,
Yes.
you're going to have it.
Sorry?
Is it dependent on the browser you are using?
Mm-hmm.
You're using Edge or using.
No, this Copilot now they are providing along with the Power Apps.
Oh, okay, I see. Thank you.
Okay, it's not a browser experience.
And Copilot is available at copilot.microsoft.
Embedded in this Power Apps, yeah, M365, all M365 applications you can see now this. But for M365, the Copilot Studio, if you need to take another license for that.
Hmm, I
Okay,
see.
so is this the client now on the web?
Sorry.
Are you logged into the app or on the web? The Power app, is it the one on the web or on the client one?
You're asking about the Power Pages?
Yeah, the page is that on the web? Is that from the web? Do you log in from the web or just through the app?
Yeah, this is in the web only. Okay, and here this is a
Okay.
Power App Studio, we can say. Okay, this is not any application, not like a .NET service tools we are using like Visual Studio. No, it's not like that. This is inside the web only, you can see, and it's a Power App Studio. And here we can, like, so add more screens. So how we can add more screens, like for example, like, so these are the layouts of the screens, that means simply pages. Okay, so for example, like, I'm going to add this blank screen, so here it is. Okay, it will ask for with data or with layout. Okay, so we can, in any ways you can add. So if without data, you can add some controls over here. So just click on the insert. So for example, like a text label I have added here. Okay, and then here I'm giving a text input. So that is, and how we can edit it, like, okay, so here this properties window we can take for that. This is the properties. Okay, so this is the properties for that. So here it is text, and then just I'm providing as name, and this is I'm not provided anything. Okay, so just adjusting here, and we can make it like the bold, what kind of font type we have to add here. Then here the size of font, and here the, maybe it's a bold or semi bold, what do you want. So in that way you can add. Okay, and here, okay, so these are the various properties of these controls. So how you can do is just select the control, and the related properties will be appear here. So here this is name, and this is a label only. So here you can see this is the name of that. So this name we have to use in the code as well. Okay, so for example, here I'm just providing a navigation button over here to link to this screen. So here, for example, like a button I'm adding. Okay, and this button next to screen. Okay, so this is here. Now there is some functionalities you can see. So while you are selecting the controls, each controls, so you can see some functionalities here as well. You can control that. So there is a functionality called on select. Okay, it is already selected. Okay, so by selecting this or by clicking on this, it has to move to the next screen. So here I'm using another function called navigate, and here we have to provide the which screen it should go. Okay, so screen one, that is the name of the screen. I didn't provide any and other names. So that's it. Now I'm running this. So here, before running this, you just, if you want to save this application, just to save this. Okay, so it is saved now, and our application name is leave management system, you can see on top. Then okay, after saving it, yeah, it's saved now. Okay, now this is the preview. Okay, you can take the preview of this app, okay, before publishing it. So now I'm just taking the preview over here. So it looks like this way. So this is selected. So I want to select a tabular format. So here you can adjust the apps width and the size. Okay, so here it is. In this way, you can customize the width and size, okay, as per your which kind of device your customer or your you are using based on that. And after that, if you want to publish this application, so here this is the publish button. So that means this application is ready to give to the production or for the staging environment. So then after publishing also, if you want to make any changes, yeah, you can make. So this application now, whatever changes you have done, okay, it is saved there. And if you want to edit again, so you can edit it. Here also I will provide a button which is going back to the home screen. Okay, you can check it like, okay, so click on this back, so it will come over here. It should be like that. This is the way, like, okay, by using Copilot, you can create an application. Start with Copilot. So after completing, so for example, multiple users are using the same platform or same environment to develop the application. Then, so if a particular person is, you can provide like if a particular person accessibility, and then when they are going to edit it, so you can give like, or you can leave it. After that only they can do. So but in different ways also we can use, like, okay, pipeline we have to configure, and then that way also we can do. So this is start with the Copilot. Now for start with the data, so here, like, okay, it will ask for, okay, if you have an Excel sheet, or if you have an already inventory, or already a particular data, you can. So you, if you want to create a SharePoint list, that is also you can have. So I don't have the accessibility to SharePoint list now, so I can create with the Excel. So you are having already Excel file. So here, okay, you can upload that Excel file from here, and as a backend data, from that it will begin to create a table, and then from that you can create the application. So that is for start with data. Then in another way is start with a page design. This is again, okay, so a particular gallery you can select in which like a blank canvas you need, or gallery connected to an external data. So this is basically based on your requirement, you can create it. So a blank page with navigation or view and a form, or it's only for image. Okay, so here you can see this, there are built-in templates available. You can select any of these templates, okay, to create or to design your app. So if I'm selecting this for a blank canvas app, so again it will come. So here a screen is already added, and there is no data connected with it. Okay, so here we can add data. for adding data, you can add different types of databases like SQL Server. If your data is in SQL Server, so you can add that. Then SharePoint list, then Excel, then the Dataverse itself. Dataverse, that means in the Power Apps itself. Okay, it is providing a default database. Okay, so that is a Dataverse. Okay, where you can create tables and add data there. So when your app is having Dataverse table as backend, so then your app becomes premium. So the app should have the premium license also to access. And here again, okay, you can have multiple controls, and for each controls, okay, so what are the controls you want to add? So if you are creating simply a form, you can add this, okay, text labels or whatever it is. So you can add a gallery if you want to show some data to the users. Okay, so then galleries you can use for that. Then shapes, different charts you want to display, so the charts also like it is available. So there are the different types of controls available there. So to display, you can see, so these are to display. And then for the layouts, okay, for medias actually this is for you, if you want to upload some images or some like videos, audios, etc., so you can do that here. Okay, so this is simply without Copilot you can create a Canvas app. So I'm not saving this. Okay, leaving this environment now, not environment, the studio. Now start with an app template again. So it is asking for from Dataverse. Okay, if you are this is actually a data centered mobile apps you can create. Okay, so if you have already Dataverse tables, then you can select with the from Dataverse or from SharePoint if you want to. Yeah, so these are the different four types of databases or data providers available here in Power Apps. So you can use this, and there is customized third party tools also you can use for as a data backend. So these all are about Power Apps. This is just a part only I have explained, like in Power Apps the first part is or the first product is Power App, sorry, Power Platform. First product is Power Apps, and only about that I have. And also that is very limited. Okay, we have a lot of things there, but it's a good platform where if you are not having any experience in programming, okay, it's good for you also, like, so it's a very low code no code platform. So you don't need to seek any particular language for that. Okay, so there is a Power FX language we are using that. Okay, so it's a very very simple language, we can learn very easily.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Arindam, thanks for joining. I know we have Stephen online. It looks like he's still traveling. Temetope, Victoria, thanks for joining.
Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Appreciate you being here.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Temitope. Good day to you.
Thank
So,
you.
Seena, yeah, so Seena, that was a great one that I've learned from you today. Your blog, I've taken notes of the link. I would go there to read. Like I mentioned to you, I have some things lined up for me for the year. And one of
Yeah.
it was for me to become an expert in M365, which I got in July. So
Okay.
right now, I want to see if I can push some things in Azure. I'm doing the administrator right now, and I'm doing the expert also later the year. And I'll be leaving that for to come look at Power Apps and loads of it. And I'm sure that I've got a tutor already. So I will just be reaching out to you just so you can coach me on this. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Joseph, I don't know if you had presentations lined up for today, and Arindam might
Okay.
add a plan.
Yeah, so last week during the Azure and AI show, so we were looking around the Copilot feature in Microsoft 365, and we looked at a lot of things. So I think yesterday I was looking through Copilot in Copilot in M365, the Copilot charts. So I think it's something very nice that we may want to look at today because I was just let me see if I can quickly share my screen. Before then, let me just open the tenants that I use for this demo. This should be it. Okay, cool. So let me share my screen from here now. Present my screen, and then share screen, entire screen. This share. So
Okay,
Dan, let me know when you can see my screen.
there we go. It's up.
Okay, just give me a second. Let me bring up my these tenants. Yes, so today I will just show us something. So if I do office.com, this is the regular sign-in page for Office. And if you have this, is a landing page for users. I think whether you're using the paid version or you are using the free accounts. So I was just sitting down. I was imagining if, for instance, you are a sysadmin or you are a user who has issues getting into your Outlook. So if getting into your Outlook is a problem at any point, or getting into your Teams is a problem at any point, and you have the Copilot license, you're going to see this guy here showing up when you sign into office.com. So if you click on it, this actually gives you access to everything that you have regarding your meetings. Okay, so I hope you didn't lost me for a while. Is my voice
Uh,
still
just
audible?
voice a little bit. Just voice a little bit. It was clipping just a
Okay,
little
I'm
bit.
so sorry. That should be my bandwidth. Okay, so let me go back here and let me see what's happening. Okay, so hopefully this comes up now.
Oh, we just lost your screen, the screen share.
Oh, so I have to share again. As like my bandwidth is not very strong
Yeah.
this evening.
Joseph,
Let me try to share
turning off
again.
your video. Try turning off your video and just sharing your screen. I wonder if that'd help.
Okay, let's see. Let me share again.
Okay.
Entire screen. Let me know if my screen is visible.
There you go. Yep, we
Okay.
can see the screen.
All right. Thank you. Let me come down to this place. Okay, so I think I'm cool. I'm here. So Dan, at interval when you cannot hear me, please let me know so I will not be speaking to myself.
Yeah.
So this is me coming into my tenant and I have co-pilot license. So let's say I was on leave and I want to take note of the emails that I have not attended to. So I can easily say, list me the emails that I list me my unread email. Let's just say my unread emails. So if I do that, so what this does is, if you look at it, I don't have access to, I've not signed into my Outlook, so it's going to go into my Outlook and it's going to look at the mails I have received, and it's saying that I received a mail from Joseph Afeso. This is to be test emails I was sending just to test out the features of Copilot. Is inviting you to collaborate on permission evaluation. And then, have you tried Vim data backup? This is another email. So they are all arranged in the way that I received them. So there was a fourth email, your Microsoft order on August 15th. Let me find out if I'm still audible. Yes, I am. So so this is just it showing me all the emails that I have not read. So let's say I want to say, so what I observe is I have just run my first query or my first search, as the case may be. If I click on this to copy my first query, I don't know the term to use there, and paste it, it isn't going to appear as what I have inside of it. Can you see? It's just, I don't know what to call this. Um, but subsequently, whatever output I click on the copy, I am going to see it as a plain text the way it is. So right now, it is not in the plain text, and I think we will need to give feedback on this, except there is something I'm not getting correctly. But if I move on, my next request from Copilot is going to be like this, like a plain text for me to read through. So that is what I have seen myself as one of the, will I say, limitation, maybe because I have not taken my time to evaluate it. But if I now say, write me or compose responses to these emails. So if I hit it, it is just going to generate, and then it will tell me. So if, as I'm here, so if it's, so again, if it has not finished processing the responses and I stop generating it, I will not see the copy button here. These are just my observations. So before I go on, I will just click on this and bring up Notepad again, just so I can paste those responses there. So it's going to highlight them one after the other. So it's saying, sure, here are some of the draft responses for your emails. And one, this is going to invitation for collaboration on permission evaluations. The subject is invitation to collaboration on permission evaluation, and it's saying, hi, Joseph, thank you for your invitation on the permission. I have accepted the invitation and looking forward to contributing to the project. And then this is the first email. If you look at it, if you compare it with what we had here in what I copied out initially, you would find out that this one is in plain text. I can read it and understand it, but this one I cannot read it to understand. So, and subsequently, when I run, when I give it prompts and it gives me responses, when I copy, it is going to be showing me plain text that I can read to understand. But this first one, this very first one, appears like this. So I think, so if I look at this email and I want to say, okay, prepare me a to-do list, a to-do list to respond to these emails. So it's just going to tell me like a breakdown on what to do first, what to do next, and all of that. So let's see. It's just going to break it down for me again. let me quickly, okay, it's just stopped, but I will show you where if you stop it while it is still generating, then this copy icon is not going to show. I think I need to show you that also. So this is just saying respond to this person's email, accept the invitation, draft a thank you message, and just a flow. So I want to do something. Compose response to the emails. So let me stop it halfway, and let me just allow it to start composing, and then it's doing short. If I stop it, you would see that this icon here, I will not have it to hit on copy, except I will have to manually copy it. And I feel these two should be given back as feedback, because I stopped something on the way that was over generating. I mean, generating too long text does not should not stop me from having the simple icon here to hit on copy. So the first one is the text here that was not clear. So now that I've had several prompts, let us try it together and see if that's now going to copy plain text for us. Let's see. So this is it. This is what we had. V is still not plain text. So that is it about Outlook. Let's see if it can give me my conversations in Teams. Okay, so I want to say summarize my Teams conversations. So if I hit it, so the beauty of this is I am not signed into Teams. I am not signed in. See all of these popping up for me. So how is it? Let's look at it. This is saying there was a conversation in my Teams that says Evans shared a document titled SharePoint Assignment PDF. Okay. Then you, Joseph, shared a link to a YouTube video and asked for an extensive write-up on effect of soft deleted group on deletion of the corresponding deleted SharePoint sites. And then it's just giving me like a breakdown, and you can see that I have the copy icon here, so I could paste it somewhere here and then look at that completely. I mean, that not also come out as a plain text. Let's see. Let's v it. It's also not coming out. So that means there are instances, not just the first prompts. Could it be that um let's observe something. Let's do regenerate and see. Hmm. Compose. Let me just repeat this and see. No, not the compose, the summarize. Summarize this. I just want to run it just once more. I'm yet to understand the pattern in which the text are not plain when you hit on the copy icon. While that is trying to load, I want to check my Teams by going to teams.microsoft.com. Let me confirm that conversation is also there on. So I think this is done. It's saying, yeah, share of that. So let me copy. So let me look at a very striking point that we can compare with my Teams conversation. In the SharePoint training, the 3 conversation, Paul mentioned that his battery was low and he needed to get home quickly to connect the charger. Evans also mentioned having a low battery and planned to watch the recording once his phone was charged. So you instructed to block MP4 upload for users OneDrive and to attempt recording in Teams meeting to confirm if the recorded meeting are saved to the recording folder on users OneDrive. So I heard a voice. Is that to my attention?
I think that's Stephen.
Okay. So I'm just trying to sign into Teams first time. Okay, so to go confirm those conversations. So I had a training and it was saying SharePoint training day 3. So this is actually me training my mentees at Pillars Concepts. So let me see what the conversation was. So if you have Copilot, good thing to mention is that when you come to your meeting charts and those calls are recorded and you come to recap, if you come to recap, you would see AI generated notes. So for the art mention, I'm thinking that it is where I was art mentioned during the chat. I don't know if it's going to be where my name was also mentioned, should also be picked here by the AI. But for me, this call was more of a one-way flow because it's a 2 hours call and the student listened for most of the sessions. But I just want to scroll to this very base where it is assigned a project to block MP4 upload on users OneDrive and to test the impact on Teams meeting recording, emphasizing the importance of understanding how OneDrive settings affect the storage and sharing. So this is me. I think we have Ami on the call, and this will form a very nice conversation. So, for example, I am blocking users from uploading certain file extension to their OneDrive, and I blocked MP4. Remember that Teams meeting recordings are in MP4 and they are uploaded to users OneDrive. So what happens if I block MP4 upload for users OneDrive and the meeting recordings are, enabled for these users? After their meetings, definitely the calls are being uploaded to, if the calls were set up from calendar, of course, they are going to users OneDrive and to the recording folders on the meeting host. I think it's now the meeting host, not no longer
Um,
the. Yes, Ami.
Joseph,
Yes, please.
um, sorry for interrupting. I have a case. Maybe it will. It's it's a it's a guess. Uh, I have an organization that has shut down their OneDrive. Okay. Now, what
Okay.
happens if your OneDrive account is blocked and you recorded a team meeting? It is stored somewhere for like 14 days or something like that, or 21 days, even
That is
though
AMS, Azure Media Service, right?
okay, it's stored temporarily somewhere. So my guess is if OneDrive is blocked, then it stores it there, and after you pass it, you cannot download it. But during that period of the 21 days, you can still download it. But that's my logical guess, but I'm not sure. But it makes
Okay.
sense. So.
Yeah, it makes sense a lot because when I was on the call with them, you remember that settings on OneDrive from SharePoint Admin Center where you want to block users from uploading certain file extensions. And I saw that
Yes.
.mp4 is one of those file extensions you could block. So it's a nice project I've given them. This Sunday by evening here will be our next meeting, and I want to see them come back with that research because the teacher himself is lazy. He has not gone to
I
do the
I
research
have
himself.
one additional comment. I think when you record through stream, you can record a video or share your video. I think it stores it in a different format, not MP3. Something which is maybe runs better on the web, or maybe it doesn't store as much storage. But so definitely if you record with either the clip jump or directly from the stream, it has a different format, different from MP3. This is my experience. I don't know
Okay.
if you have checked that.
Yeah. So what I would do, maybe I would also, now it's a topic for me to go look at. So I would just wait for my guys to come back this weekend with their findings, and I'm sure that that conversation may even make us, because we are continuing from SharePoint administration, so we could just also look into this practically, and I should be able to come up with fact also. So I was saying that this conversation, it's also showing here And that was what Copilot from outside of Teams has shown us, that yes, we could go into this. So this is the way I see this to be very helpful. Remember that if you go to Outlook directly and you want to respond also, you can also use the Copilot to draft your emails and respond to those emails. So you could use the Copilot chats here to actually know a lot, even without going into your emails, to do a lot that you can actually get from Word, you can actually do from your Outlook here. So if you were here and you also want to have a conversation with a colleague, let's say this test guy, I don't know what this guy is. When you are typing your message, you can also decide to draft that message with Copilot. And let me see, I'm supposed to see draft with Copilot. Yeah, draft with Copilot is just showing. I think the icon was a little bit different from what it is. So if I come here, I can draft a message with Copilot. Either I have already typed the message. Okay, I think it's only when I type first. Hello. Let's see. If I click on this, so I have options. So this icon used to be a bit, this icon was different. It was the Copilot icon I saw here the last time I checked. I see one here. This
Joseph,
is open.
can I ask a question?
Okay, please.
I know in the web, the Copilot is everywhere. Yeah, almost. Have you tested how many of the applications like Word, Excel, OneNote for the desktop are already supported, not web? Meaning, I know OneNote should be. I don't know about Word, Excel, and PowerPoint on a client. Do you have you ever? Do you know if it's available, or do you need to do anything, or is it?
It's from what I could see. Let me just stop sharing and check one of my screens first and see that there's no confidential information. So we can go right into it. Let me see now.
I guess it's
I
OneNote
don't think there is any
should have Copilot, but I
One,
don't know
So
about.
it is in OneNote, it is in Word, it is in Excel. I think I've checked those myself. I'm just trying to boot one of my VMs that I have that right now.
it's
Is it
also
104 VM?
It is okay because only tested the web, but I haven't. So you need to log in with your Office with your Copilot account, and then yeah.
Yeah, sure. So what I did was for that, because I don't have an extra machine for it. So what I did was for me to do that in one of my VMs in Azure and have the application. So Dan, do you have the applications on your PC that you're joining the call with?
yeah, I'm sharing
So
right
Is
now. So I'm in.
this
okay, cool.
OneNote for desktop
Yep.
app? Okay, cool.
Presenter.
I know Planner has also a Copilot. That's
Right.
that's cool.
I haven't used
Copilot and Project. Yeah.
Yeah, that in Planner was very nice. I was on a show, was in AI show in Nigeria here, Nigeria M35 community, where one of MJ, right? MJ did a very nice demo on the use of Copilot in Planner, and it was really, really great. It made things very easy. So Dan, do you also want to show us in Excel and in other applications?
So the Excel one, Ami, we did a demo in this probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, where we did a randomizer.
I mean, if it's identical to the web, then it's fine. It's just
pretty close.
interesting. Okay,
You just need to make sure
cool.
you're logged in as the account that has the
I see.
the feature. So you have to make sure this account is the one out of all these. My MVP one also has, so my Sandbox would also have a license, but many of these others don't have licenses. So you need to make sure the primary has Copilot.
Cool.
Then you should have Copilot over to the right.
Wonderful.
So it's the same place in Outlook and, all the full applications that I've tested it
Wait,
in.
what Outlook, the new Outlook or the Outlook Classic?
I've
So
used Outlook Classic, but Joseph, I don't know if you have other.
Yeah, so initially, I think the last time I checked, it was not available in the classic Outlook, but later on, I saw an update from, was it Teresa, where she stated that it is now available even in the classic Outlook. So I think it is
Wow.
now available. Yeah. But when it first came, it was only in the new Outlook and the web.
Yeah, this
Because
is
yeah.
classic Outlook, so we can take a look at if it's there. Yeah, it's not in here. It is Copilot.
Wow.
Initially
Just in
wasn't
the middle
there.
of Copilot, not on the end, which caused me some confusion. It
Now,
still does.
did you
'cause
know
it's
that
not where
it's
I
now
found
it
it.
should be
Sometimes
possible, to append or a video when you add a link. I don't know if it's on the desktop, but on the web Outlook, you add a URL and then it embeds it into the to the
Right.
mail or to the Outlook,
Preview.
just like a loop component.
Online or a web thing. I think that's a web thing.
Online.
I don't think here.
No, here it won't work. Okay, but this is cool. Oh, awesome.
So,
And you also have the loop component as well on a classic.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Sorry for interrupting there, Joseph, but
yeah, so yeah, it's all the same. I think it's speaking to the same. I was almost concluding, so I will just share again, just so we can,
Sure.
boom, 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 entire screen, and then this, and then share. Okay, so I'll just go back to
There you go.
my test accounts. Okay, so Ami mentioned, so on the web, of course, we can see this. So I was trying to say that even if you do not have to, so I think why this is important is that it could go through all your emails at a go. So let's say you were on a leave for a certain time and you came back and you want to say, okay, just quickly give me my email. Let me be on top of the situation and see how it is. Then looking at Outlook itself, you cannot search from here, can you? Let's see. Let's go pilot here. So what is that going to look like? Is that going to be like the charts? Let me allow. So this is still going to be like the charts. Give me a summary of my emails for the last, let's say, 1 week. So let's see. So this is actually appearing like the Copilot chart itself. So where do I need to click? If I need to go back to compose emails, I will have to come back here. So while this is trying to even do this, let's click back here and let's come back to Copilot and see if it will keep our conversations. So that means that if you click on Copilot and you come back to mail and you come back to Copilot, then it's going to start afresh. Am I still audible?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So who is observing what I've seen? Coming back to my MVP tenant, yeah. So I was mentioning that if I'm in emails, for example, and then I want to reply, but I came down to Copilot chat here in Outlook, and I say summarize all my email. I don't have much, all my emails. Then it is summarizing those emails, and then I come back here to compose mail, and then I want to come back to Copilot. It's going to load afresh, so it's not keeping those for me. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's it. Let's see what's the latest from my organization's email. So those prompts I had, I mean, those points I was trying to generate are no longer here. So let's see this. What is here in Outlook? Say, what's the latest from something organized by email, chat, and file? What's that? What should be my radar for emails last week? When so these are prompts that are commonly used, but I must mention this plugin. So it's different from what I thought it was. So I was thinking this is the place like in PowerPoint. There is a place where you could keep your there is a place. So I mean, this is just another conversation. So I noticed something yesterday and I just wrote this out there. The the error message, this popular error message, you are missing out of Teams, ask your admin to enable Teams for you, which was error due to licensing. I realized that it has changed when I was trying it out. It has changed to a new error that says you do not have the required permission to access this organization when a user does not have Microsoft Teams license and is trying to sign into Teams. So this is where I was trying to go into here. This one here, view prompts. In PowerPoint, you see view prompts. So if you click on view prompts, you can view more prompts, and under view more prompts you can decide to save your prompts, your favorite prompts. So based on what you use more, let's say you come to your job type. If you are in HR, you have some prompts that are commonly used by HR, and it's like create a presentation about training material for new employee, including links and video. Creates, so if you like this prompt, you can just hit on this save icon and it's going to be among um your favorite prompts. So if you come, you can change this to maybe to sales. And I think for sales, only one prompt that we have already for now, and that is saying create a presentation that clearly shows the technical side of a solution enclosure. So that is you saving prompt. So you can decide to uncheck all of these, and you are searching based on tags. Excuse me, I clicked on something else. You are searching based on tags. So if you want your prompt to start with create, if you want it to start with edit, understand, ask, so you can just put it there. And there are some of your favorites, some prompts that will come out. You can decide to add them to your favorite prompts so that they can always be handy to you. So that's just me trying to come here, because when I was here, I saw this plugin and I was thinking it is the prompt. So we don't have that prompt here in Outlook yet. We have it in PowerPoint. So basically, this is how you can use Copilot to summarize your emails, to come to and your emails and your Teams chats and conversations, and then you can use the AI generated notes to catch up with what has happened. Just imagine this call was for 2 hours. So if I come to recap and I come to AI generated notes, if I click on this copy, then it's just going to copy the entire conversations for 2 hours. And if I just highlight this and V it, and then this is like the key point of what was discussed. So the life of a secretary is now very easy to catch up with this. And again, these notes, I think they are in real time. So if you have missed out on the conversation and you are coming, you can quickly jump in and just read and see what has been said. And where you were mentioned, you will see it here and what was said about you. I'm not sure how exactly this works, whether it's going to be based on charts where your name was at mentioned, or where you were spoken about, where like Joseph is spoken about. My question would be, if there were many Joseph on that call and the person addresses Joseph by the first name, how is it going to be? This I will also explore and see. And then if you look at transcript. Transcript is way long, to be honest, is way long. And if you wanted to copy this out, you cannot. So there is download here. I don't know how that will be. Download docs. So if you open that, of course, it's going to be like a very long, a very long word.
So they did announce speaker attribution
So
if you're all in a
transcript.
conference room for Teams.
Say that again, please.
So they did announce speaker attribution if you're in a conference room. Joseph, to your point, if there's like 2 or 3 Josephs and I'm only using your first name, who am I speaking to?
Mm-hmm.
I know it can figure out which Joseph spoke if you enroll your voice profile and you're in a
Oh,
Teams room. But
that.
here Teams would know who's speaking if we're all on a client separately. But
Okay.
to your point, I don't know what it would do. That's an interesting example. Like, what if there were 2 Daniels and 2 Josephs or 2
Mm-hmm.
in the meeting? What happens?
So I'm going to check that because, say, for example, I'm speaking and I said Dan said XYZ, and another person said, like that. What's his co-pilot going to pick if it's going to be using the person's name? But if it is by chats on the meeting, I think it should be able to figure that out by who was at mentioned exactly. So I was trying to just compare this transcript to meeting notes. You can see transcript is way longer. So for example, if I click on C and I come to this place, I hope I'll be able to identify the meeting note. This is it. Let me do Control N. I don't want to close this. I want to bring up another notepad. And then what I want to paste there is my V. And of course, you can see from the scroll bar that's okay. Let me do this. Put this by this side. Put this by this side. So if I bring this up here and I bring this up here, this is the transcript, the regular transcript that you have, and this is the AI generated notes. Look at it. I'm done. But for this, it will take forever for me to read through. And I can confirm to you because in one of the
Yeah,
videos
but
I've made,
how much can you rely on the accuracy of AI,
good
Um,
question.
it's doing whatever it can do like a machine, How
Yes.
much can you say? It maybe 50%, maybe 70%. Question is, would you need to review it and see how much it's 100%, or how much it
So
fits, Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So I
It's
mean,
anything
I've
about AI, yeah. You
you have
need
to doubt, need to doubt
It
it,
can
right?
help you, but it cannot replace you. You need to be careful that it doesn't say nonsense, or to assume things that,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
but it helps. It's a not a pilot, but it's a co-pilot. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So just to wrap up, here is actually so I mean if we look at it again, even this transcript here is actually AI generated also, right? But this one is just more intelligent than this because even the the speech to text here that happened on the transcript, stating the time that was said, stating who said what at one instance or the other, is also an AI in action, transcribing voice to text. Here, this one is a bit smarter to have because I have read only this one. I've not had the time to read this. Perhaps I will
Is the
create time.
left a meeting recap?
So this left one is, yeah, this one is AI generated by Copilot.
Is
This
is
one
that the
is the,
recap?
yeah, this is the recap and it's this short. Okay. Why the meeting transcript is this long.
Yes.
So that is,
Amazing.
yeah, so we have work to do. Me and I and everyone listening, we need to go and check out the
Yeah.
transcript that was here, and then let's compare with a summary of a meeting note generated by AI, and let's see what's what the accuracy is. So thank you very much, everyone who took time to listen, and I hope that we're able to see one or two together. Where is my account?
Well done.
Yeah.
Excellent job.
Thank you, Ami.
Ami, I don't know if you had if you wanted to share that news with our audience that you shared with me.
Well, you can. I'm a bit shy, but you can mention it on behalf of me. I don't mind you mention it, but I
No,
think
that's I heard somebody call that an amplification buddy, which I loved the term. Sometimes sharing your own accomplishments or your own achievements is not as easy as having somebody else share those. So Ami was kind enough to point out, and I know that he's worked with Mark Cashman in the past. Mark mentioned both Ami and one of his videos in a recent online, it looked like a post, right?
I can share it if you
Yeah.
if I can.
Yeah.
Um,
You should be able to present your screen.
Let me. So there's a monthly Intrazone blog and podcast and blog that Mark Cashman. He's the marketing team, or almost the product team of SharePoint or Microsoft List. And I was scrolling down, and all of a sudden I see it's talking about a new SharePoint starting page. And it says one of our community members, MVP Ami Diamond, produced a nice walkthrough overview of the video, gives your window into the possibility to visit. And he also put my YouTube video that I did, and it was very surprising, but I was was very honored to be mentioned, and I thanked him. I never met him. Yeah, it just was. I guess he heard of me and he just mentioned it. So I was happy
It's an
to be mentioned.
online thing right now, right?
Okay, I don't know how to unshare, but
I can remove it. I can
okay.
take it down. And then you should be able to stop presenting, I think it says. There you go. Then I will share
Okay, so
that article here.
oh, I wish anyone here could be also that, because it's good, you know. Yeah, so it's nice to be yeah. It doesn't change anything, but it just, appreciated yeah, my
Joseph,
effort, or he noticed it.
So
So
you would say it doesn't change anything, but I would say that it is one thing to do the right things, and it's another thing to be recognized by the right people. It gives you energy to
but
do more. And
thank you,
yes,
Joseph. I think it's luck. Well, it's partly luck and lots of hard work, and trying to, because I never met him. It's just maybe I mentioned him, or I guess the
so so so
networking
for so
in
for
that way.
me, for me, I mean, I want to say that I would disagree with you when you say it's luck, because a man sitting out there who is not doing anything is never going to get mentioned. I must say
That's
that
true.
you are doing a great job. I'm sure that you have other commitments for yourself on a day to day, and of course you can confirm that making YouTube videos are difficult, right? But we just keep doing them, keep pushing them. You're just talking to yourself, and you never know who was going to listen to those things, right? So having one, two, three, 100 videos is not a day's job. Something that counts from days to months, from months to years. So it's not luck. I mean, you worked for this, and I want to say congratulations.
That's very kind of you, and I maybe you know I underestimate my what I do, but it's nice, and yeah,
It's beautiful.
I think,
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
if you invest, sometimes you get some recognition. Uh, that's
Yeah.
it.
and you don't know who's listening, right? Joseph,
Mm-hmm.
you should share who you just met on the audio event.
Yeah, yeah. So I met Andy, one of the MVPs that I've been envying for a very long time. It's one of the great guys on YouTube that that inspired me to even start up my tenants. To be honest, on this call, I thought MVPs were superhumans, maybe because of the way the guy was bringing out a lot of stuff inside of him, and I just yeah, Andy Mellon, yeah, that's the name. So it was great. We had an audio event before this event, and we just guess who came on the screen. It was this guy, and I was like, "Are you sure it is you I'm speaking to?" And fortunately, it was the one.
I think he
So
has more than 100,000 subscribers. That's
so he's a
crazy.
great
Yeah.
guy. He puts the time into what he does, and I was amazed to know that he has been an MCT since 1996. So someone who was MCT since 1996, I'm trying to remember when I was born and how old I was at that time. So he has been in the game for quite a long time, and yeah, meeting him today on the call is important that I announced that here, and I'm so privileged and happy. And Dan, you are doing a great job, I must say, because I never knew where I was going to meet this guy, and seeing him on the call and having a conversation one on one is
I
a
had a
privilege.
chance to sit
Yeah,
in some of
yeah.
Andy's training in person, and
Mm-hmm,
he's just as energetic online as he is in person. He's just
hmm.
really wonderful person to meet and
Wow,
chat with.
that's
So
that's great, man.
hopefully he'll be at the MVP summit as well in
Okay,
20.
so let's be pushing towards that. I will, like I mentioned, Dan, I will be speaking to you on a one-on-one conversation. Let's see how we
Yeah,
can make that happen.
yeah,
Okay, so
that'd be awesome.
that will really be great. That to even meet you also one-on-one, and we
Yeah,
can chat over some things. Yeah.
I just want to say something. I think, um, it, people invest lots of in MVP and in other things, but they should be careful not to burn themselves out. Burn out, meaning, if you overdo it, then it can come. If it's too much, then you can collapse. So you need to make a balance and say, okay, it's important for me, but go do other things. Go do sports. Go do
yeah,
um, things you like and enjoy the family. And yeah, make a balance. You don't need to do everything, because I don't know personally, but I think some people just said it's too much for me, and then they even give up the MVP because they say, uh, I need some rest. I have enough stress from other things. Although MVP is, if you do it out of love, and you enjoy it, you don't take it as a job. You take it as a hobby. And
right.
Yeah. So
if you
once you
like
enjoy your
sharing, then
thing,
then
hmm
it's a different game. But still,
yeah,
don't overdo it, because you know no one's standing behind you with a gun. Everyone, do it slowly. Do it's like some people say, "Wow, I'm doing lots of videos." I think the quality is important more than the quantity. Yeah, do
Yeah,
one good video instead of three bad videos, and improve each time. Also, content wise, and also the way you produce it. So that's my tip for now.
I mean that's great because quality over quantity, it's something we need to, and again, striking the balance between the timing. For example, I do my videos, I do the editing, I do the thumbnail, I do the upload. I don't have an assistant, and and it's not that the channel is bringing in itself already and bringing in something, but yeah, it's just cool that we try to, like you said, the passion keep driving us. So for editing these videos becomes a bit difficult to do. So I'm trying to find out, I mean, how do you have time to put all of those together? You mean to go draft the content, to edit to do the video, to upload, to do the thumbnail, to edit them, and all of
Well,
that. How do you balance
I
those
try
things?
to do some templates, a template for a banner, a template for editing, a template for writing a summary. And sometimes I just have an idea, go record it, do it once. Don't care even to edit it. Just only if it's not good enough, I record it again. If it's good enough, I just release it and do the minimum that is needed. Um, that's what I do. So try to, if it's possible to automate, then maybe it's possible. But if you have ready templates or things that you can use uh, in several videos, that's probably can shorten the time you do it will take you. But some people, for them, the quality of editing of the audio and everything is very important. For me, it's 60% important. The more important is what I'm saying, and not what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, more than decorations and other things. But there's no right thing. Each one does it according to what he thinks, and you know, you can plan that you want to do something and make a list of all of your ideas, and sometimes you can just, I have an idea, go record it, and just do it on the spot if I have time. It's
Yeah.
different,
So I
if I had young kids, then it would be much harder. Now that they're above 18, they only want me for money, and yeah, and report to me, so I have more time for myself,
so
so that's
so that just reminds me of what happened during the weekend. If you listen to the two videos I just uploaded, you would notice noise in the background, and that was coming from my kids because I have a kid of 5 and the other of 6 going to 7. So sometimes you are just in the room recording and you just say, stay away from here for a while, and you just see them jump on you and they
yeah.
want
but
to see
but
that's
but
in the
maybe
meeting.
you
What
can
are you
have,
saying?
some speakers have voice isolation, so they cancel the voice around, so maybe you can, or maybe you
Yeah.
just need to close the door or something like that, so there's all kinds of things, yeah. Or do it
I
when
think I would
no one's home, yeah.
Yeah, I tried to do that too. Unfortunately, the noise cancellation I got had was not the good one, so I had to return it to where I bought it from. I will still look for something that can help me take care of my
Even Teams
environment.
has a voice isolation.
True.
Teams, you mean?
Yeah.
Teams does, but we're using StreamYard right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if StreamYard does. It might.
Yeah,
Arindam, thanks for joining.
I saw
Yeah,
the setting for noise cancellation while joining the
yeah.
call when
I
you
think
go
they
to
just
the
have
audio
it now.
setting.
It's just new in StreamYard now. Yeah.
Cool.
They
Echo.
have it, but I'm not sure how effective it is, to be honest.
Yeah,
We'll
I
have to
think I
try.
just saw it today. Echo cancellation. Yeah.
I used that for I think the past 2 weeks and even today. I'm not sure if you can
Yeah.
hear noise from my
Okay,
background
it's
because
called
there's a bit of
reduce
noise.
mic background noise. Yeah.
I didn't hear
Okay.
any background noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's actually a
Yeah.
slight background noise here. The kids are
Yeah.
watching the
Yeah.
movies and all of
Yeah. I
that.
think
Okay.
that's a new feature.
Cool.
I did see we had Arindam join us from you're in Switzerland, right?
Exactly.
Hiya.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks for the write up on Journey to the Cloud. That was a fun Wayback Machine with some of your early appearances.
Yeah, I mean, like, we spoke over LinkedIn, it's crazy that it's been like 1.5 year or maybe 2 years now that I couldn't connect, or maybe I can join the JTC group. So I was just like, collecting everything, because I didn't have to do much effort because it's all in my GitHub. With my date and all the speaker sessions, the YouTube links and everything. So it was just like I was just calculating everything that, okay, what I did with JTC, long back with Dan, Matthew, and Frank. It was those really the early days when we were all together, me, Matthew, Frank, everybody. We were starting our MVP journey, and we were putting a lot of effort into this group and everything. And then I was just going through, and I said that why not to celebrate 2 years of journey to the cloud.
Yeah.
And then I just wrote my heart out. It was nothing like I had to prepare something. It was just like what we did and how much it meant as my MVP contribution. It's always like once you have achieved something, it's always good to look back and see that who has supported you over the journeys. And I also wanted to mention that at that time I was a rookie in speaker sessions. I got my first very ever speaker session with you. I still remember the day when I connected with you. I was asking that, hey, can I get? I don't have any experience in public speaker, and you gave me that. And after that, I did like close to 5 or 6 speaker sessions with Journey to the Cloud and other participation, and also like a virtual session with the Island Security Microsoft conference. I couldn't go because of the visa reasons and everything, but Matthew just took my recording. So it was, it was like down the memory lane. It was fantastic.
Yeah, Matthew.
Can I ask a question? What does IAC mean?
Infrastructure as a code.
Okay, never heard of the
So
termination.
No, it's okay. Amy, I specialize in Azure, DevOps, and all kind of automation.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So it's like I always when I wanted to do my MVP, I always thought that I will do in developer technologies. So the first year I got developer technologies because I had a lot of contributions on GitHub, GitHub Actions, Azure DevOps. The next year, and the next year, my contribution was more on infrastructure as a code. So Microsoft took away the developer technologies and they gave me infrastructure as a code.
Is that a new category, or is it?
I honestly don't know, Amy. They gave it. I mean, like being MVP itself is a privilege. So I don't mind, if they are shifting me from developer to infrastructure as a code. I really don't mind because, as I said, that this is something like my passion of automating everything. I just have this huge OCD factor where if I get some use case, I need to automate. I have to think about the automation.
So that's awesome.
They say good developers need to be lazy because they do the machine do it for them.
That's what I am. I am like for very first time when I'm doing something, it's really, really interesting for me. But then I really get bored very easily. And when I get bored, so I have to still do the job because I have to bring the food on my table. So so then I just automate it and I'm the lazy one. So I tend to do that a lot. If you see my GitHub and everything, you can find that I only write automations.
And I totally forgot that you used to write up all those, like dates, link to the video. That's something we really struggled with the newsletter because some of these they go live on different people's pages. So you have to dig up, whose event was original and then who else broadcast the event because it's the same event, regardless of where you find it, right?
I can quickly, just to show the audience, I can just quickly show my GitHub profile.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, let me do that. So,
while you're presenting, does Azure have like its own automated engine? Instead of Power Automate, they have some kind of a workflow that can be used, or?
So Azure has Azure DevOps and for orchestrating the whole things. And if you're talking about infrastructure as a code and everything, then they have Biceps. Okay, so like we normally So this is the GitHub page which I have, and it's just the awards, and then what all contributions I have. Then I have an overall stats of how many blogs I've published, the blog series, the total speaker sessions, the communities I'm supporting, what are the pull requests, the issues I have raised, total contribution, and then there's a stats of all my series. Then what podcast I have done and what is the speaker sessions I have done over the years. So you have the link, dates, and everything, and the name of the community, and also the location, overall pull request, and then overall issues I've raised with Microsoft and everything, my contribution and product feedback. And then there are a few publications, where my automation got published in few of the magazines. And in past, I used to write a lot about Linux and everything. So you have all the details out here and one things.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
So it's the same thing I try to do. So this is my blog post on here. And for example, like let's take one example of journey to the cloud. When I did the journey to the cloud, the thing. So if I go here, so this is like one of the fun sessions which we did long back, and then you can easily integrate the YouTube video in your blog. So here is my YouTube video, and here is my GitHub, and you can just integrate here. So if you see here, like if somebody is coming here in my blog, you will see that this is what I am, and what I'm doing is what I write. So I'm basically a 2 times MVP, and I'm also a Sessionized active speaker. 2023, I got awarded with this. And then by profession, where I'm working at the moment in Switzerland, I'm leading a cloud team. I'm a blogger. I'm a public speaker. I participate in half marathon.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do a lot of hiking over the weekend, and then I'm a very, very avid traveler. So the last country which I visited was Poland, and that was my 25th country.
Wow.
And that is why I call myself as a citizen of the world. That's all, small and short. And this is what you will find here, and this is what you will find in Session Nice. So it's very important.
You need to replace your passport every couple of years because it's full of stamps.
I mean, like, yes, this is the thing I really, really enjoy. Yeah, go ahead, please.
25 countries. 25. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So it's
you
like
only have how many countries are there? 150 or something?
I think there's under 200. I think I heard
200?
something that's been to 190.
Yeah, man, 93 maybe.
Yeah.
So far I have touched 4 continents. So I'm basically from India, but I live and work in Switzerland. So that's the Asia part, and then I visited the Egypt part. So that is covering the Africa part. Then I went to North Europe because I used to work in US as well, and I live in Switzerland, so which is part of Europe. So it's like 4 continents.
Do you speak Swiss or German or French?
The High German, yes. I have to a little bit, but Swiss German is really, really difficult. You cannot, unless and until you're born here, because that voice annotation and the way they speak and everything, it's not unless and until you are born and raised out here, it's not possible.
So English is your language?
Yes. English is yeah. So that's how it is.
I was thinking about that when I started thinking about, over 2 years of this, we have to have several different languages that the people that we've had on the show speak. And in many cases, we just have them present in English because that's the common language that we have. But we've had people from Indonesia. We've had people that I'm sure have other languages besides English that they speak.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to look at that. Like, how many other languages do people either know a little bit or a lot of?
Now, normally in Europe, people know close to 4 or 5 languages. I admire this whole culture out here because they know French, they know Spanish, they know Italian, and then they know German and Swiss German.
Yeah,
And
I know.
By the way, Dan, people take the granted that English is their first language, but think as peace people, I'm from, let's say, from Israel, okay? I speak Hebrew, but English is my second language, although my level of English is very high, but still you think sometimes in the other language and to it's for some people it's natural that English is the first language, but for others that it's the second language or third language, then it's much harder, and it's not as if it's you were born to it. So people should take that in consideration also. And sometimes there's accents and other things that, yeah, but
Yeah, I know Roxana speaks at least 4 languages, and she's from Texas, but spent this summer Arindam back over in Switzerland as well. But speaks at least 4 different languages, and there's examples like that. I know this is difficult for her because she's teaching again. So during the day she's busy. We'd have to think about evening times in the U.S., which would be even later overseas. So the time zone challenges have been the other thing that we've lost certain people like you when we moved to Thursdays was not a good night for you typically.
I could easily, I mean, like, it's not about managing, it's just about the roles and responsibilities. When I started my MVP at that time, I was more like I was an Azure engineer. And then over the years, it transitioned to cloud services lead. And the problem with that, Dan, is that at the moment I have my team spread in India, Madrid, UK, and in Switzerland.
Wow.
So it's a crazy time going on. It's even very, very difficult because I really like publishing automations and everything. And I really like, like blogging, and then, talking on my own subject and everything. I have some really, really unique use cases, which I really like to share from time to time in dev community. It's really a bit, frustrating that you like something to do, but, you're not getting enough time, because then you have to spare your time for your vacations, for your wife, and then, I have this whole half marathon spree going on, because that's a real good disconnect for this whole crazy Azure container world going on. And now with the AI, it's now going more and more crazy each day. So coping up, as like, rightly what Amy was saying, that most of the people are now giving up the MVP status and everything. I think it's not because of the contribution. It's about at the end of the year, when you have to file for your MVP, the anticipation, the wait, that whether they will be selected for next year, is the contribution enough? Because there is no thumb rule in Microsoft documentation saying that, okay, if you have done this, then you are sure to get an MVP. So that anticipation is the key reason of people giving up the status, because they feel that it's better that I blog, I speak, but then at the end of the year, I don't have to file, because that wait period is killing. You have to wait for three months and everything, and that, oh, I have been 5 years. So whether you are in 5 years or whether you're 6 years in MVP program, it doesn't matter. But this is such a prestigious award that everybody would like to keep the status. But at times, when you have kids and and everything and a family, it is too much. I would say it is really too much. And yes, I always think in this way, to be very, very realistic, that if I can keep MVP status for 5 years, I will be more than happy. I will not regret if after 5 years, if I have to give up, or for some reasons, I won't regret. Because if you want to do something for your community, it should not be because of MVP. You can do without MVP.
Very true.
Because then, then that shows that, okay, that person, I'll take my example. If I want to write blogs and if I want to speak and everything, yes, MVP is giving me that time and everything, that placeholder, that, okay, I am MVP, so I get invited here and there for public speaker sessions. But that is just the entry. Once you have there, and when you have, positioned yourself as a speaker or a blogger or automator, anything, then it doesn't matter anymore. because it's a saying in English: once a president, always a president. So once an MVP, always an MVP. It doesn't matter. You just put an ex MVP, it still works.
True. And a lot of people give them up to go to Microsoft. I would say even beyond people that just didn't want to have to document.
Yeah.
I think the number one reason MVPs stop being MVPs is because they end up at Microsoft at some point in their career.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I would say that I totally agree with what Amy is saying, but I would just add an inch more, that anticipation and the wait, that after contributing for a whole year, and then you have to wait just to realize that, okay, your MVP has been renewed, because this what happened this year. So I had to wait a lot of time, and because the DACH region, this is a DACH. So DACH region is Deutschland, which is Germany. A is for Austria, which is the Austrian region, and then CH is Switzerland. So that is what they call as DACH region.
Okay.
So the DACH region is the one, and so it's always late. So the MVP status of UK and US, they gets updated very fast, but when it comes to DACH region, it's always very, very slow. It's painful. So yeah, so we had to wait a lot. Some of my friends, Marcel Lupo, you know him? Yeah. So he got it like close to maybe the renewal. He got like 3 or 4 days before me. He is in UK region. So, yeah.
Remind me, Marcel and you and me, it was the three of us that met at MVP Summit, right? That was so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, so that's what I think. So yeah, I mean, like, MVP gave me a lot. It gave me the exposure and everything. I would love to continue, but yeah, that is not dictating my deaf community work. That's what I would say that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So Arindam, thank you very much for that wonderful speech. So great.
Are you standing up? Are you standing up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you have a standing desk or a really good webcam.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah. I wonder if anyone here works standing up. I don't know. It's probably healthy, but
it's
instead of sitting all day long.
It's a very common thing in Switzerland. So
is it?
Yeah, it's like all the
standing desk.
Yes. Yeah. It's very. So it's like a very common out here, because they are like for them the health is everything. So every time you will see them running, eating healthy foods, and I mean, like, for them the job is always the secondary. It's just bringing the food on the table. But for them, the hiking part, the keeping themselves healthy, spending more time with kids, family time, and everything. So it's a little bit different world. They live in their own bubble. So they don't know at the end, how much struggle is it back in India or something, some other countries as well. So yeah.
I think it's very nice that it's multicultural. What we see here in the meeting.
Yeah.
From all races, from all regions, from all colors, and all. I think it's amazing. Without being,
I have since I come from India, and it took me a lot of time to settle down here, because the cultures are different. Everything is different.
Don't you find Switzerland compared to India very expensive?
Yeah, I mean, since I'm earning here, so India is now very
so you get also paid according to that. But compared to India, it's probably
it's way higher. But yes, so coming to that multicultural in my company, which is like Axpa Solution, it's the second largest energy and trading company. So we have close to 29 nations working in our. So it's 29 nations. And in my team, just to keep that diversity and everything, because I'm coming outside, I'm basically an immigrant in the country of Switzerland. So I have like people from India, I have people from Spain, UK, Australia, Poland. So this is my team all around.
It's amazing.
So that's how I build it. It gives me it helps me to grow a little bit more, to understand their culture, how they work, how they sleep, how they eat, and kind of thing. How is their working pattern and everything. So it makes me a better lead. Let's put it in this way. Every day.
That's
But
true.
you should not ignore the differences that people have, because sometimes what you think is okay can be understood in a different culture differently. If I do this for some country, it would be very nice, but in Spain, it could be a bad thing. Or if I do this, I don't know, something. So
You so
that's
you know
always
you can get wrong one time, you can get wrong two time and three time. On the fourth time, you get acquainted and you start understanding people more. It's
oh,
initial
they
period,
give
of
you a tip
course.
not to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always a thing and everything. Spanish people are basically like they talk very very fast. So sometimes I really have trouble in understanding. I have to be like really close to my headphone that okay what they said, and then I have to excuse myself. I have to ask again. So but now if they're speaking fast and anything doesn't matter because now I've got a
I
hang of it.
I found out Indians speak very fast. I
No,
don't
not
know
all
if it's a
regions. No, not all regions because India has four regions: north, east, west, and south. So the southern part of India, they speak very fast. Not all Indians. So that's the beauty. Yeah.
It's things like that that I learn by these kind of events, just finding out about different regions within a country that that you may have visited or remind me, is it rice and then naan or naan and then rice? Isn't that
It's
a
not
region?
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's regional too, right? In India?
So, yeah. Naan is mostly on the northern side of India.
Okay.
Yeah. And the rice is typically more on the eastern side and southern part of India.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's why you always see that the Indians they always have a pot belly because of the rice. So,
flight lice.
There you go. That's why the half marathons, right?
But this is where my people in my office they say that I'm not an Indian because I've been I've been like I don't have that and I run and I hike and all kind of things which typically my people are a little bit lazy. Let's put it in a polite way. So, half marathon is just like a year ago. I started because this Azure DevOps containers and it was driving me crazy, and I didn't know what to do. And then I started running. I started with 2 kilometers, extended to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 13, 13 to 16, 16 to 18, and then 21. So this year, I have 2 half marathons coming, and then next year I'm participating in the Zurich one, and then maybe I will apply for the New York one. If I get it, then I'll travel to New York for the full marathon.
Nice. Let us know. I could meet you in New York. That would be
anytime I'm coming to US. You will be the first person to know. I texted you when I was an MVP. I want to meet you. So.
Yes. I was hoping that week we'd find ourselves in the same, because that's the other thing. Like at the MVP summit, your award category might be in building 30, and my award category might be in building 7, and it's sometimes easy to meet up and sometimes more difficult to figure out when we're free. So I'm so glad we got to meet in building 33, I think it was.
Yeah, I think building 33, it was where the badges were discovered.
Yeah.
And this is also something, I'm a little bit working behind the scene. I don't know if I'll be successful this year or next year. When I went to MVP, and this was the very first time I became last year, 2023, and when I went there, I saw that there was a lot of badges waiting there because people could not come for some reason, sick or something. But then, I started to see the stats, in India, and they have close to 100 or 120 MVPs. And then, I just tried to find out, and it was close to people. There were maybe hardly 5 people coming from India. And then I didn't try to find out that, okay, what's the reason? So the first primary reason was cost, because they cannot bear the flight cost, hotel cost. I know because I'm an Indian. I stayed there. I know with the salary of Indian, coming back to US, staying there for a week with food and everything, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
And then I started to think that, okay, we have meetup groups, we have speaker sessions, everybody wants to be an MVP, everybody wants an MVP. We should do something around, the community should do something around sponsorship of people who want to travel. I'm not saying that, you have to do for 120 people, but maybe like a poll that, that, okay, that you are doing a fundraiser, and then based on the fund maybe you're polling like, okay, I can sponsor for 3 or something, and it's just a poll, it's a lucky draw. And the condition could be that the visa part has to be taken by the citizen of the country, because that is the part nobody can take care.
Right.
Yeah, but if you have the visa and if you get the poll, a lucky draw which can be done over live, then the hotel and the flight can be bagged by that community. So I
Great
have
idea.
this. Yeah,
I know
I
that's
just
that's why I got an Airbnb
Yeah.
for the week of the MVP conference, because I know there's probably a lot of people in the same boat as I am, and that's I don't want to spend
Yeah.
the time or the money that a hotel's going to cost just me when I
Yeah.
could get an Airbnb and
Yes,
host.
but you're still Dan. Traveling maybe from
Right.
Washington to Seattle.
Yeah.
You can still get a flight between $100, right? But
Yeah,
when a
it's
person
about
is
200, but very cheap compared.
Yeah. So when a person is traveling from India to US, it is costing him, the flight to and fro is costing him 2,000 or more than 2,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
Just the flight.
Yeah. And that's
It's a huge,
like
huge.
beyond or before food, before
So,
where you're
yeah,
staying,
exactly.
how you're getting there. Yeah.
So the thing is that, when when I'm doing a contribution, even for my MVP and everything, when I'm writing an automation or something, I always keep in mind that this should help. And this is the reason that I have never started any YouTube channel and meetup group, because I know that these kind of things are a lot there, and you can just collaborate with somebody and you can do this. You don't have to do. But I always try to think from an angle that, okay, what else you can do to help the community, and this is what I'm working on, because I have a company who can sponsor this for them, giving 2,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 US dollars is not a big deal. My company, I have put like 2 or 3 sponsorship for US. I mean, like, for the conferences, I have started this sponsorship for Azure Bootcamp in Switzerland, and there is .NET Days, so I've put Expo as a silver sponsor every year. So we
I
spend.
think it really depends on the company you are, because sometimes MVP is anything you do out of work. So
Yeah.
the company can say, well, that's very nice, but do your job, and anything you want to do after work is your, they can
Yeah.
take your MVP and say, when they're marketing the company, they say, well, we have 5 MVPs, but on the other hand, you're not doing MVP on time work, is because you shouldn't also do any contribution. And well, really depends on how the company sees it. If it's a small
So,
company, then they say, okay, it's nice, and but
yeah, I
when
agreed.
you
Agreed. What I'm trying to say here is that I'm also the first MVP. I also don't know, Amy, that whether this thing is possible. I just have a thing in
no,
my
I'm
mind.
saying you're lucky. I'm saying maybe there's lots of companies like that, but there's also other companies that just say, yeah, that's brilliant, but
So
uh,
I've been to a conference and everything.
Because people companies want to think, what is this going to bring to us, right?
Right.
Yeah, and before they want to put in that, they want to ask again, what are we going to get in
what's
return
in
of what
for
we're
me?
investing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's very important,
yeah.
because every company is a business and they would want to make something bigger than what they're investing into such a move. right? So when it comes to like a charity or charity event from them, which is fine, but how do we blow the whistle so that it can bring people's attention to them doing that as a community contribution is another thing that we want to look at also.
So
Great.
the way I present, Joseph, I I really like to
Yes.
give the real time answer and everything. The way I present is that that with the MVPs, if you are requiring a good product knowledge, or if you need internal training, or if you want to find somebody who is specialized in Power App or maybe in Copilot or something, instead of finding, I can always look into the MVP community, who is everything and who has this direct connection with Microsoft. So it's a little bit of a pitching, it's a little bit of a marketing, and things you do. And then when I go to any of the conferences, and then I start to talk to every company to take a little bit of a temperature and an idea that, okay, are they inclined to talk about such kind of a charity which I'm talking and everything? And it's like, $1,000 or $2,000 too much for them to contribute. So it's not like I'm saying that, okay, my company is investing in $10,000. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm trying to get 500 from here, 1,000 from here, and that is how I'm targeting. I'm trying to make a pot so that at someday, maybe, I don't know, this is just an idea, Joseph, which I'm sharing with the community, that there are a lot of people who are really working hard on the MVP status and everything, but for some reasons they are not able to go to Seattle, which is one of the prestigious places. Because I went with Joseph, and it was like I was mesmerized because it was my first time. I was very happy, and I was taking photos. I was like attending to every conferences, and I didn't care about food or drinks or something. It was just like looking into people who have like the YouTube videos. They're just passing by, and that, oh, festive calendar, I know Gregor. Oh, it's like Travis Roberts, he has this huge YouTube channel, and those kind of things. It's like a really really happy moment.
Mark Cashman was there. I had a conversation with him for the first time. Just at the conference.
There was like really then there was like I met Damien Brady. He is the marketing and the guy from GitHub. So Damien Brady is like one of the figures for GitHub, who is like doing all the conferences and everything. I took a photo with him because I'm from developer technologies and so kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, long story short, it's just like an idea, nothing. But I'm working on that.
Dan, have you met Jeff Teeper? Dan?
I have met him. I have been in the same room with him. I have not done the photo ops.
Okay. Okay, that's close.
An option where
I think what Arindam is speaking about is part of what the conversation we're having regarding the conference in next year, right? So one of the major challenges that people will face coming over to the US is the finances, like he mentioned, and also to get the papers right that will make them come over. So I'm not sure how far India is from the US.
25 hours. 25 hours.
Wow, that's great. That's a lot.
But they should make an MVP summit in the US and in Europe. That should be just like they have a Ignite in each continent. They should have an MVP summit in each continent.
They do occasionally do an MVP day before conferences. So I know Ignite and Build and some of the other things, they'll do like a pre-day for MVPs. I'm not sure if they're doing that for all the regional events, but sometimes they will specifically do something pre-day for MVPs. So it's not a summit per se, but it's an opportunity for MVPs to hear from the program, to meet each other, to network, that type of thing.
I can say from a content side, the online is perfect. From experience and networking, I'm sure, but I don't think I would miss anything if I was online regarding content, because even asking questions, I I had the possibilities for in most cases, and I even practiced it. So, but the whole experience of meeting and that's you cannot replace. But if you
Yeah.
only want to get the content, I think you can. It's
So
good enough. I mean,
so apart from the experience of meeting people, you also get to have opportunity to visit places, right? Yeah. So back here in Africa, maybe I want to see how the US is. It will be an opportunity to come over and see where and how the US environment is, and maybe stuff that I watched on television or I read in the news. I want to see how those places look and take some pictures, try to build memory that I will have to reflect in the later. Unlike events that I'm just sitting where I am seated now and I can see what is happening in the US, and that's also the plan from or the proposal that you're having in your mind, Andrina, is a very nice one. It's actually going to be of help to low income earning countries in the world where we have MVPs. It will be a very good, motivation to people to see how they can even travel around the world and see. Some persons have never left their countries, to be honest, and that may even
Yeah.
add to the that opportunity for people who have never crossed either their country or not have even traveled out of their continents. And US being one of the leading countries, most people want to visit and see how these places look. So to be a nice idea. I'm not sure how buoyant we'll be in the journey to the cloud, Azure and AI show as a community. If it is something we can also put into consideration and see if we need to write people that can support some persons who are
Yeah.
far away from the US to come over and see, stuff like that will also be great contribution, and it will be an opportunity for people to meet one on one, have conversations, show them around, and especially those who would want to change their location in terms of job. It can even be a medium of conversations. And I think there's one very important thing in graphics, in pictures. If I have opportunity, for example, to take a picture with a big name in quotes and have that on my LinkedIn, that's going to call a lot of attraction to my page and say this guy was able to meet with this person. He must be a responsible, a connected guy. Why not we bring him in? So it also help us build our profiles and all of that. So if it is something we can look at, I think it is something we'll have to look at.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Microsoft should start with sending more swag.
Exactly.
Hats,
Well,
socks, all kinds of things like that. Start with that. If they start with that, if they don't start with that, then talking about the flight would be, yeah. But
The one thing which Joseph, which impressed me in the MVP was the library, the Microsoft library. And in the Microsoft library, what they do is there are a lot of MVPs who have written their own books. Their books are placed in the Microsoft library, and and during the visit, they call all those MVP who have their books in the library. They hold their books, and then a group photograph is taken. So
Hmm.
so why I said this to you, Joseph, is that I always believe, that yeah, the gesture, I really understand the emotion and the gesture, but if you can do something impactful like that, you don't need an impactful person to take a photo and ask people to follow you. That's all I would say. Yeah.
a book is a big project. I think it's some
Indeed.
people write together even a book. Okay, so
But
and
the thing
and
is
and books are something that you write, and technology changes, so you need to do a second edition, or so it's quite static. Let's say a blog is something that, yeah, but yeah,
I,
it's a big project. I
Um,
think.
I totally agree with you on this because even on documentations for for people to read. As short as they may look, it's easier for me to jump on my microphone and show people around that, because when you want to write, taking those screenshots step by step, it's
Yeah, it
actually
can be
way time
It,
consuming, trying to
yes,
put
so
items together,
time
your
consuming
flows.
as well.
So I
Like,
just jump on my microphone and say, you know what, let me show you this on the video demo because I don't have time to write.
But
So,
each one
yeah.
has different preferences. Some
Okay,
people
so
like to listen in a podcast. Some people like to read. Some people are lazy and want to see a YouTube. Some people, each one has its own preferences and ways to consume the data, and yeah, so each one can do it.
so
so
I will come back to the part,
I
where I was talking. Yeah, please go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead, please.
yeah, sorry, I wanted to add that. Okay, so I actually do like technical writing for Microsoft technologies, from SharePoint to Copilot. So like it's really stressful, and the fact that you have to learn the technology, then add screenshots and use a lot of tech writing tools. I'm very good for them. It's still it's amazing. That's one of the things I just recently wrote about was Copilot for sales. I think maybe any weekend I have chance, I'll join the Azure and AI show. I just recently discovered that okay, you can for you to get the Copilot for sales in Outlook, you have to enable it in the admin center. But for Teams, you can just install it directly, and then it can give you. And then you have to for the one in Outlook, you have to integrate it with Dynamics 365 or Salesforce. Then before it can begin to give you sales insight based on your emails, then junk emails, and many more like that.
Beautiful.
So
So yeah.
the one thing about the blogging part is always, the thing which I follow. There are two parameters. One thing is that don't think about that how good or bad is your blog. If people are reading or if people are not reading, it doesn't matter because it's your online documentation. You can always refer to it if you forget something. That's one thing. The other thing, this is what I follow because otherwise you will always lose yourself in getting into all these entanglement of thoughts which is coming in your head. The other thing is that like I'm learning a new technology like Power Apps. I'm new to it, so I go to Microsoft documentation and then I start to follow the Microsoft documentation and start doing. Now, it's a common thing, and you guys have also faced it that when you follow something in Microsoft, it never works like the way it is written, right? So this is where you start. That don't draft what is already there in the documentation because it's already there. Draft the part which is not working. The part which is not working, if you put that in your blog, that is the part you are doing a contribution, a real contribution. Because if it is there in Microsoft that, okay, how to create a Power App, and then you are following a documentation and then taking screenshot and doing the same content, it is okay. It might be that you are getting the MVP status and everything, but deep down, you will not get that satisfaction that I have really contributed. So when you are learning something, you just take out the part which you have faced, and then you put that in your blog, and you will feel that satisfaction, and you will feel that there is more readers, those are following you. And coming back to the other part of the book part, I'm not saying that you have to write a book on the technology like Terraform or Azure DevOps or something. I'm saying that everybody has some set of experience going on, like how did they start their journey on Azure DevOps? That journey part would be unique from human being to human being. Or like you are coming from a data center background and then you're moving to the whole cloud. Both the ecosystems are so different, the way of working is so different that like you are 18 years in a industry, 11 years in data center, 5 years in cloud. But from data center, when you transition to cloud, it was so difficult because of your age, because of your learning capability and everything. There are a lot of other different ways where you can contribute. It is not that how to write a Terraform code or how to build a SharePoint or how to build a PowerPoint. It doesn't have to technology oriented. There are a lot of different ways of writing. That's all I wanted to say.
So for Ami, I think this this idea of some people like reading, some like listening to podcasts, while some like watching videos. It's the last example you showed, or what you showed in Microsoft Edge, the last call we had, will actually be of help to the parties or different parties to this, because if you have a YouTube video, for example, Ami was able to show us on that call how you could ask Copilot in Edge to summarize the video for you so you can read. So
Yeah.
in that case, so if you don't like, if you are not in the mood to listen, or you are not in the mood to, to watch, you can
Yeah.
just read by just saying, bring the link to your Edge browser, and then to help me summarize this video, and then to bring it out in a written form for you to quickly read through. And that means that video still wins, because I'm sure, Ami, that you will not say, hey, this is a text, this is a link to a text, please help me create the video. I'm sure it will not do that, right? So
Yeah, but some things need to be visual, where then maybe in a blog you can show a picture, but sometimes you want to see how it goes in a video. So sometimes a visual thing like a video is something that is more easier to understand than just still pictures, because
mhm,
sometimes you need to connect between the things. I just want to say, you mentioned about blogging about not the whole topic, but the specific things that come out. So I try to usually um, shortly give what is the practical solution, but what's important to me is how does it fit a use case, a business case. What are the pros, what are the cons, how can I test it on extreme, and to bring the things with the spice, yeah. And because everyone can understand specific, well, not everyone, it's usually it can be quite clear to how it is, but the extra mile that you give, and say, well, I think it's more suitable for this, or maybe it's quite limited, and you should take considerations when to use it and when not to use it. And that's my tip on how to give some interesting content, and not just to repeat the same thing that other
We
people might be doing.
totally agree. Totally agree. Like this is a very, very nice thought. This is somehow like me and you talking in the same way. What you're saying. Absolutely. And this is also why when I'm writing a blog, Amy, I'm also putting a small screenshot that how my local environment looks, because the automation is good, but it might be that automation they can fork it from my GitHub, but then when they are running in locally, it is not running because my local environment setting and his is very, very different. So this is also something which you rightly mentioned. Absolutely, totally agree.
It's
So
like
then,
power. It's like PowerShell. I usually take a script, and it works for somebody, but maybe the basic settings of the PowerShell, if I did not install the PNP or the management tool or something basic, then I cannot continue to the rest. So
yeah.
you should have the basic environment set up properly.
So Amy, Joseph, Victoria, Dan, it was very, very pleasure talking to you. Apologies, my wife is waiting for my dinner.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up with you guys later. Dan, thank you so much for
all right.
inviting. Okay.
So
Bye
you
bye.
have
Yeah,
my
nice meeting
you
you.
have my request pending, connection request pending on LinkedIn, please. You may want
I
to
will
accept.
accept it. I
Thank
will
you.
accept it, Joseph. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right then.
See you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bye bye.
see
bye.
ya.
Thank
Thank you. Bye. Cheers.
Bye bye. Cheers.
Sure.
Anybody else? Last comments or thoughts or shares?
Yeah, I think I have a comment for regards to like what he said. So I think he made some good points about like you know assisting people that need to like travel and things like that. I think having a call like this is also like a trust, because most people have this issue of trust. You understand? So yeah, so I think that's one of the that's one of the hindrance which most people don't really like want to help, because they feel, oh, what if I do this for this guy and this guy go and do something, get into trouble? Am I not going to be involved and things like that? But I think we being a call like this, it helps because, or if somebody see Joseph and with Dan on a call, they know that for Dan to be on a call with Joseph, so definitely there's this level of trust. Understand? So for us to be on a call together, there's this level of trust you have for this person. So if peradventure, there is an opportunity like that, I'm sure people will really want to, okay, okay, yeah, I'm gonna help him. I think there's somebody who is very close to, who is, who has good reputation in the industry. So yeah, so I think that one, so trust. I just think that's part of
Yeah,
like, might be like
definitely.
a hindrance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan, for organizing all of this. Without you, you are the mentor. You are the glue between all of us, and you are the
I would say
entrepreneur. Yeah,
I would say there's a lot of glue on me between
you're one
Teresa.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a community effort for certain. So, between Frank and Teresa and Matthew and Arindam and you and Timmy Tope and Timidayo, and I mean, we've just had so many people come out and support these events. We have 32 people still listening to us live. When we started this, we'd go on for 2.5 hours, and we might be lucky to peak at like double digits. If we got to 10, we were excited. Now, if we do the advertisements properly, Joseph, to your point about like, how do I talk about the impact of a show like this? Well, we have 30 to 32 people average throughout most of this broadcast, and that's live. What about next week when people find out, oh, I missed the September meeting? Or what about when somebody realizes, hey, somebody popped on like Matthew, and Matthew has a big following, and Frank has a big following. And I think we're live on Frank's LinkedIn because I was able to set up one of my computers to broadcast this to his audience as well. So even people that can't physically be here, Frank's on vacation, there are ways that we're still supporting them. And I think it's really important.
Beautiful. That's true.
So anybody with parting words as we
So
wrap
for
up?
me, I think I will just quickly go first, and it's just a continuation from where Ami stopped. So Ami, for me, I would not be repeating words, but sometimes it's needed for me to just re-emphasize that you are a great guy, and your milestone of 4K. I envy you for that, and maybe one day I will join you.
No,
So
it's just a number. It's just a
yeah,
number.
so Ami was one of those people that I had looked up to, and today sitting side by side Ami, because Dan has decided to put this together. It's great. So Dan, I want to say thank you. Sometimes I wonder how you have time to do all that you are doing. I see you here, see you there, see you here, see you there, and your activity on the group and on LinkedIn trying to pull people together is well appreciated. I just got the picture you sent to me, and that's great. So that's going to be very
Yeah.
useful to me as well. The audio event we had. So for me, I learned how to host an audio event today that we had a lot of persons join us, and Andy Melanie was one of those people. So I want to say thank you, Dan. I'm just wondering where we are going to, but here's where we are at this moment. So I'm believing that we are going to somewhere really great, and I want to say thank you again. And to
Dan,
the other to my team, Steven, we're almost seatmates now in ABC of Cloud. So Tell me talk where you are. I hardly see you on events like this. I know I've met you twice in um um Azure and AI show, and I couldn't stay on that call because I had internet issues, and think another day I came up, and then you left before the end of the show. And it's good that I'm meeting you again here and fully for the past 1 hour. Are you in Nigeria
Nice to
or are you
meet
somewhere?
you.
Yeah. Are you here in
Yes, I'm
Nigeria?
in Nigeria. I'm in
Yeah,
Lagos.
in Lagos. So we are both in
Lagos.
Lagos. Maybe one day we'll try
Yeah.
to meet up. Okay. I will send you a connection request now so that we can chat.
All right. And
Yeah.
to
Thank.
add, Dan, thank you so much. I got to know about Microsoft Speaker Up through Teresa, and it has been awesome. I went for Tim Dio's event that was last month, sorry, in August, the Cry Out event. And I was just like, it's funny and it's amazing that it was just through LinkedIn, through Teresa, then to Microsoft Speaker Up, I got to know Temidayo, and then I was there like physically in the event. And it was just amazing. I want to say thank you. And to Amy, like I look up to Amy. Sometimes when I go to the tech community and I see your contributions, I'm like, God, I don't know how you do it. Like it's amazing. Though for me, I'm
Thank
like
you.
more
Thank
skilled
you.
in the exchange online part. Yeah. I'm not skilled in the exchange online parts. I don't really know much about SharePoint and Teams, but I do a lot of writing. So because I had like professional knowledge on technical writing, I'm about to write now about a lot of Microsoft technologies. And yes, I do it now for companies instead of just personal, like personally or for the tech community. So yeah, thank you so much. It has been awesome. I've learned a lot. The thing about Azure and AI show is because I'm just not always around during the weekend. That's why I'm rarely at home during the weekend. But I'll definitely find out time, especially for the provider details presentation. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone, Joseph and Steven.
So please, you have my request pending on LinkedIn. We can continue from there. Thank you.
Joseph, how about on one of the shows, each one can give some tips for the best way to share content or make a YouTube video. So, what are the tips for successful YouTube? Either the preparations or afterwards, the whole process. Well, that
Yeah.
each one can benefit on from their experience. I think it could be a good idea.
So to be honest with you, I mean that's one of the things that I'm not just going to be a speaker, but I'm going to listen more because I think there are a lot of secrets that I need to understand. This guy that's in
I'm
quotes, I
sure
just dropped.
I'm sure each one can learn something new
Yeah.
that he
Definitely,
didn't think about. Maybe
def,
ideas. Maybe
definitely, definitely.
Mhm.
I mean, so I think we can have that. Dan, where do you think we should host that on Azure and AI show, or where, or
Great
just a
question.
random show?
The difficulty with the Azure and AI show is Frank is trying to keep it to an hour. So
Yeah.
if we don't have more than an hour's worth of content, discussion, plan, Azure and AI show is a good place, and it's weekly.
Mm.
Things like this,
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah.
we traditionally did this show. We had a starting point, we had a planned ending point, but we often just stayed on longer to either finish out demos or have discussions or think about things we wanted to do in the future as a community. So this is an option, and I've already started thinking about does it make sense to keep this on Thursday almost the same time, or does it make sense to maybe to Timmy Topay's point, if weekends aren't good for you consistently, they're not usually good for me because I have other things. I might be traveling, family, weekends aren't what I would pick. But, Frank normally does the Saturday thing. So, we don't have to necessarily do one Thursday. We don't have to do it at the same almost time. We could do it earlier. We could do it later. So I'm open to either calling it. We did a special Journey to the Cloud halfway through August because we had Callahan interested in presenting about immersive spaces, and we had some requests for her to do that. So we put together that as I don't even remember what day we did it. I think it was on a Thursday, but
Okay.
we've done that on any day, right? Anytime. So if you have thoughts, I love the idea of a YouTube. And I'm sure Teresa would have interest in that, and maybe we could get feedback. If we did a formal invite and found out what works for him and Teresa, for instance, and then Ami, and if you can think of other creators to invite, maybe that's how we start something like that.
Listen, I have like 8 WhatsApp groups, each one with 1,000 people. So even though if you give me the text, I can just post it and people get it. So I know in the US WhatsApp is not used much, but in Europe and the rest of the world, WhatsApp is the only communication platform, and so.
So I think we need to maybe I will chat with you and see when what we can conclude to be the content and the dates, and we can ask Dan to put up something, and then we can look at the announcement.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
All right, that's fine then.
Reach out and we'll be in touch.
Awesome.
That's fine.
Well, everyone, I've got somewhere to be in about 45 minutes here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for that. And
goodbye.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good nice weekend. Bye bye.
Have a good one. Yeah. Bye.